I welcome you all. This is my first video in semester 2, uh, BSc Physics Honors. Today I'll discuss about the topic electric field and potential. As you know that this electric field, it is produced by the charges. Now the question arises, the where the charges comes. So from the conventional method, that on a glass rod, it is rubbed with the silk, or ebonite rod when it is rubbed with the fur. So by rubbing these two objects, the charges are produced, and these charges which are being produced, the glass rod becomes positively charged, this becomes positively charged, and the silk becomes negatively charged, and ebonite it becomes negatively charged, and fur becomes positively charged. So in this case, the charges which are being produced, uh, glass rod with the when it is rubbed with the silk, then we find that the glass rod attracts any object. If you bring near to this, it means charges are being produced. So the charges which are being produced, it is due to the exchange of electrons. It is due to exchange of electrons between two objects. So when there is an exchange of electrons, there must be forces acting between the charges. So these forces which acts with one another at a distance, that force which acts between the charges, and these forces are of the, in nature we know there are the four fundamental forces of nature. First is strong force, number two it is electromagnetic force, magnetic force, and number three it is weak force, and number four it is the gravitational force. Gravitational force. So out of these four forces, the interaction between two charges which act at a distance without touching each other, so that force comes under the electromagnetic force. So basically we will be concentrating on the electromagnetic force, that is the interaction between two charges which produces this force, and it comes under the electromagnetic force. As you know that size of the nucleus, size of nucleus which is almost 10 to the power minus 15 meter, and size of the atom, size of atom which is 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So inside this nucleus, we will not talk about the interaction between the charges, because here the nuclear force exists, the force which exists inside the nucleus within the distance of 10 to the power minus 15 meter, like there is a proton and neutron and proton and neutron there. So inside the 10 to the power minus 15 meter, the force which acts, that is said to be the nuclear force. Of course in there is the charges, so there are the repulsive forces, but the nuclear force dominates over this the charge which acts between this proton neutron and the proton neutron. So here the nuclear force and the dominants. So we talk about the force uh, which acts between the two charges, but it is more than 10 to the power minus 15 meter, that is within the range of the 10 to the power minus 10 meter, that is the size of the atom. So we'll talk about this some fundamental things which is valid in case of the charges. So firstly, the conservation and the quantization of the charge. Charge is the basic quantity of the matter, as the mass is the basic quantity of matter. So the same role is played by the charge. And so we'll be talking about the conservation and quantization of charge. quantization of charge. So when you talk about the conservation, when there is a physical quantity and there is an isolated system, then any physical quantity in an isolated system does not change as a result of some process takes place in the system, then the quantity is said to be conserved. So that is the meaning of the conserved. The physical quantity, it will not change any processes takes place, like the elastic collision between two bodies where the momentum and the energies are conserved. Elastic collision between two bodies where the momentum and energy both are conserved. So when the physical quantity exists, now this is for the conservation. Now quantization means when any physical quantity exists in discrete packets rather than the continuous amount. Discrete packets, then we know that it is quantized, like the energy of the photon E equal to h mu. So it is quantization of the energy. So like the angular momentum and the energy of an electron, it is always moving in an orbit in the atom, that is the quantized. So that is the meaning of the quantization. So let us discuss in this case how the this conservation, how the charge is conserved and how it is quantized. So electric charge, it shows both the natures, it is conserved as well as it is quantized. So when you talk about the conservation of charge, so the electric charge shows both the properties. Conservation of charge, like when the first example was when you are rubbing the glass rod with the silk, then the net charge on the rod and silk of the system is 0, both before and after the rubbing. Number 2, when there is a energetic, this is the glass rod with silk, where we find there is a conservation of the charge. Number 2, if there is a gamma ray photon, it collides with any electric field inside an atom, then it is conserved. So if you have the gamma photon, and from the gamma photon it produces the electron and it positron. So sometimes it is also known as the pair production. Or in the opposite way, when the electron collides with the positron, then they annihilate with each other, then it produces the photon. So in this case, you say gamma photon, it has no charge is 0. So on the right hand side, the electron, the negative charge, and proton, the positive charge. So -1 + 1, it is 0. So charge is conserved in this case. Now if you talk about the nuclear reaction between proton and proton, then it produces the proton with proton along with the positive pi meson and the negative pi meson. And in a nuclear reaction, and there is a collision between proton and proton, it produces the same proton but along with the positive pi meson and the negative pi meson. So here also you see, before reaction the charge is 2 charges, and after reaction there are 2 charges, 2 positive charges, and here both the charges are cancelled in the positive pi meson and the negative pi meson. Similarly, when there is a nuclear decay, that is uranium 92 238, it produces uranium 92 235 plus 1 helium atom 24. So in this case also, in the radioactive decay, this is the radioactive decay in which the both charges before decay it was 92, and after decay it was, this is 90, this is 90 and 2. So after this decay, it converted 90 to 90 to 35. So 90 plus 2, it is 90. So it is, sorry, this is 234. 4 plus 4, it is 8, and 90 plus 2, it is 2. So this is about the conservation of the charge. Similarly, the quantization of the charge. Quantization of the charge. Quantization of the charge, that is it was invented by experiment by Millikan's oil drop experiment. He found the charge of the electron is minus 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So any charge possessed by a body, that can be written in terms of the integral multiple of this fundamental charge present in the electron, that is n into E. Q equal to n into E. So charge carried by the electron, it is the smallest unit of the negative electric charge, and that can exist by itself. So the value equal to E equal to 1.602 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Further, this amount is not being further divided. So therefore, this Q equal to n into E, when n equal to 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, like this. So this is the fundamental charge. So any charge, the total charge present in a body, it is expressed in terms of the multiple of the integral multiple of the electronic charge, and that is the quantization of the charges. Next we will talk about this Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. That is the Coulomb's law of force between charges. Force between charges. So what it was Coulomb who proved it by torsion balance method in a laboratory. Torsion balance, and he find out the force acting between charges, and it depends, the force acting between charges, it depends on three quantity. One is the magnitude of charge, Number 2, it depends on the distance between charge bodies, and the third one is the medium which is present, the nature of the intervening medium. So these are the three things that the Coulomb's law depends upon. So let us find out the Coulomb's law mathematically, of the Coulomb's law of the electrostatic force. So Coulomb's law of electrostatic force. Let us take, we have the two charges Q1 and Q2. They are the 2 point charges, Q1 and Q2. They are the point charges. These are the 2 point charges, and the distance between these two, it is joined, and this is known as the R, the distance between the two charges, and the unit vector, which is this is R, and the force exerted by the charge Q1 on Q2, it is acting in this direction, that is F12. Force exerted by 1 on Q1 charge on Q2 charges, so F21. So F21 equal to F21, which can be written as 1 by, or you can say constant, and then q1 q2 by r square into this unit vector, because force is a vector quantity. So this unit vector which is acting along the direction of the force. So the force acting between 2 point charges q1 and q2, that is equal to k constant, product of the two charges, and the distance between two charges multiplied with the unit vector which is acting along the direction of the forces. So similarly, force exerted by 2 on 1, so that is also k, q1 q2 by r square and r. But this the k is a constant of proportionality, but this is opposite. So f12 equal to minus of f21 to 1. So this is it also obey the Newton's laws. So f12 equal to minus f21. So f12 plus f21 equal to 0. So then the isolated system, when you are taking 2 point charges, the force acting, the interaction between the two charges, the forces which are acting, that is equal to 0. So this k is known as a f equal to, if you generalize it, then k equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square. So this epsilon is known as the permittivity of the free space. This is permittivity of free space, and its value is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square by Newton meter square. So if you place this value 1 by 4 pi into 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12, then it will be, its value will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon will be, so 1 by 4 pi epsilon, that is the permittivity of the free space. We are keeping these 2 point charges in the free space. So 1 by 4 into 3.14 into 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square by Newton meter square. Then if you multiply this and divide by 1, then it will be 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square by Coulomb square. So this is the value of the constant. Now we want to write down this Coulomb force between two charges in terms of the of their position vectors. If you want to express in terms of the position vectors, then it will be like this. This is your coordinate frame. If you take two charges q1 and q2, join it here. This is origin, this is x and y. So you have the two charges q1 and q2. q1 which position vector is r1, q2 whose position vector is r2. So now if you join it by the triangle law, then it is r2 1. But the force exerted by 1 and 2, it will be in this direction, f 2 1, and the force exerted by 2 on 1, it will be f12. These two forces are acting at the point A and B. So what we can write down this from the triangle law, r21 equal to so r1 plus r21 equal to r2. So r21 equal to r2 position vector minus r1 position vector. Distance between two charges equal to this. So f21 force exerted by 1 and 2, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, then q1 q2 divided by modulus of r21 whole cube into r21 vector. So this can be written as in terms of this position vectors r1 and r2. So it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 divided by r2 minus r1 whole cube, and then it is r2 vector minus r1 vector. Similarly, the force exerted by 2 on 1, so that is f12 in terms of the position vector 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 divided by r2 minus r1 q then R2 minus R1. So this R2 minus R1, if you take its modulus, then it remains the same. R2 minus R1 its modulus equal to R1 minus R2 its modulus, and that is equal to R21. So this is the formula that that the force which acts between two point charges in terms of the position vector. For this charge is R1 and for this charge it is R2. Now we will find out what is the SI unit of charge. So the SI unit of charge is coulomb. It is represented by the C letter. So if you have the 2 point charges, then the formula is Coulomb force 4 pi epsilon, then Q1 Q2 by R square, right? So if you take Q1 equal to Q2 equal to 1 coulomb, and if you take R equal to 1 meter, if you take 2 point charges, its magnitude is 1 coulomb and 1 coulomb. Distance between these two is 1 meter. Okay. So then how do we define the force between two charges? Will be F will be, it will be only 1 by 4 pi epsilon and 1 into 1 by R square. So it is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton. It means if we 1 coulomb is that charge, it means 1 coulomb is that charge when we are keeping at a distance of when placed at a distance of 1 meter from an equal and similar charge, and it produces where? In vacuum or air? In vacuum or air, then the force between two charges, how much it produces? They will repel it with a force of 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton. So that is the definition of the 1 coulomb. So from that coulomb, 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton the force acts, then we will say that is the 1 coulomb. So for that we are taking two similar charges, then there is a repulsion, and if that repulsive force is this much, 9 into 10 to the power 9, then we will say 1 coulomb. So as you know that from the quantization of the charge Q equal to NE, and so N equal to Q by E, if we have the 1 coulomb of charge and the charge of the electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, so that becomes 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. It means 1 coulomb of charge that is produced by removal of 1 coulomb of charge is produced by removal of 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons from a body, from a neutral body. This is important, from a neutral body. So that we will call as a 1 coulomb of charge. So next we are going to discuss about the so what is the derived equation of the charge? That was the fundamental unit of the charge, which is coulomb. So what is the derived unit of charge? So derived unit of charge is, so derived unit of charge. So as you know that rate of flow of charge is known as the which is flowing in a conductor in 1 second. When the charge is flowing in a conductor in 1 second, then that is said to be the current of the 1 ampere. So we take that definition of the ampere to define the derived unit of charge. So I equal to q by t, and so therefore q equal to I into t. So unit of current is ampere and unit of time is t. So this is the derived unit of charge, ampere into time. Now the relation of coulomb with other units of the charge. Coulomb, relation of coulomb with other units of charge. So basically there are the two units of charge that we discuss. One is the electrostatic unit of charge, that is ESU, and one ESU charge, that is the unit of the charge in electrostatic unit, that is known as the stat coulomb. And 1 coulomb equal to 3 into 10 to the power 9 stat coulomb. And number 2, there is another unit that is known the electromagnetic unit. That is EMU. So in that case, 1 EMU of charge that is equal to 10 coulomb, and which is equal to 10 into 3 into 10 to the power 10 stat coulomb. So these are the two units of the charge that we will discuss.